Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Hope you guys have a good week planned ahead of you. Grind forward. Stay on your program. I know I will. Let's just tell some stories today. If anybody out there wants coaching or mentoring, go to my website at skyazrael.com. I always throw the link below, or you can go check me out on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, but I'm on Instagram less than I'm on Facebook. I think I log on to Facebook more. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm old. Let's just tell some stories today. Talk about van life. I lived out of my van for a while. I was born in a school bus, so it was only natural. But when I was 18, right after I graduated high school, I moved out of my mother's house after a big argument with my stepfather, her new husband. We got in a nose-to-nose screaming match in the front yard as my mother threatened to call the police. I was all middle fingers. I jumped in my van, said, "I'm out of here." Grabbed my girl, and we left town. Apartments are expensive. I had an apartment for a little while when I was 18. And I moved to the wrong town. I had moved up to Santa Barbara. Very expensive. I never should have gone to Santa Barbara. Quickly ran out of money with the rent. Moved into my van. And set the van up nice. Put aircraft insulation on the walls and then paneling over that, and then carpet over that. I went to a carpet store and asked them if they had any carpet remnants, and they said, "Yeah, we got a dumpster full of this shit." Doesn't take much carpet to fill a van, so with free carpet, is green. Was it green? No, it was gray shag carpet. It was so ugly. I glued that stuff all over the walls. Worked out great. Had a little ladder on the back and a roof rack on the top. Spare tire on the back. It was a Dodge Ram van, slant six, 1986, old school, still had kind of the bubbly body style before they went real square and boxy. Tinted the windows down as far as you can tint them, so a cop with a flashlight couldn't look in, and I tested it, sat there with the flashlight trying to look in. You might as well have just spray painted the windows black, they were so dark. Made the van terrible to drive. It had tiny little side mirrors, and the rear view mirror is useless. So driving it was a little bit difficult. It was a stick shift, not 3 on the tree. I hate that. And I could never really figure that out. Oh, driving 3 on the tree is a drag. This was just a regular stick shift. And I loved that van. Me and my dog and my girl lived in it for quite some time. We traveled all over the country. Went here, went there, stayed at campsites, slept in the street, at parking spots, the stealth camping, we did that mostly. But stealth camping is temporary. Anybody who's done it knows. It's just a game. Some places are easier than others, and you learn what a good parking spot is. I like to park near this large park. They had several big, large fields, and nobody ever went to that park. It was just kind of dead. Some people walked their dogs there, and people kind of affectionately called it dog shit park, because no one ever picked up their dog poop at that park. But I liked parking there. However, too many hippies showed up. This was back in the day when the Grateful Dead was on tour, and when the hippies would come through, when the Grateful Dead would come through, or when they were off tour, when the Grateful Dead would stop touring, take a break, whatever, the hippies would come to Santa Barbara, and they would stay at that park. So there'd be hundreds of them, school buses and all that kind of stuff. And it was fun for a minute, but they would bring the cops. The cops would be on that block all the time, messing with people. But it was a good place to park, for the most part. I can't tell you how many times that I've been in that van playing possum as the cops are trying to open the doors, go through with their flashlights, look in any window, sitting there knocking on the windows. And I'm just sitting in there, hiding under the covers. I remember one time, the cops were messing with the van. They knew someone was in there sleeping, and they're knocking on the windows. They're looking in with their flashlights. It woke me up, middle of the night. And I had noticed as I was looking outside, I wasn't too concerned with it, but there was like 2 or 3 cops, probably just 2. And I noticed that the front passenger side door was unlocked. Now, cops will enter your vehicle. If you have a school bus, they will just come right on the school bus. They feel like they have a right. They don't have to go get a warrant. They just come right on. And same with your car. They'll just open your car. They'll just open the van and rip you out of there. They can't do that in your house. They gotta go get a warrant. But your car, they don't have to have a warrant. So I didn't want them to enter the vehicle. So I literally climbed out of bed on my stomach, slithered across the floor, trying to stay under the window line, even though they're tinted. I just didn't, and I'm trying to move real slow so the van doesn't move. And just as they go to check the passenger door, they check the driver door, he walked around the front, I'm on the floor, and I reached up with my finger, my index finger, and pushed the lock shut just as he went to try and open it. I remember they caught me one night. I was a drug dealer and a gang member. And the cops knew me as a gang member because I had gotten busted 1 week before this event by the sheriff's green team, the gang task force. And we had gotten busted at our clubhouse and whatever. So this was 1 week later. I wasn't in jail. I had a court case, but they sight released me because I didn't really have anything on me. It was a big raid. Some people had drugs on them or weapons on them, and yeah, they stayed in jail till their court date. But if you didn't have anything on you, they just give you the yellow piece of paper, tell you to show up. And these cops are walking by on foot patrol, pretty much minding their own business. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat of my own van. I don't know why. I should have been sitting in the back of the van where it was more secluded. And I was bagging up I had a big sack of weed because I was selling weed at the time, and I was bagging it up into little dime bags. So I had my little pinky scale, old school style. And I'm sitting there with these little stupid dime bags trying to weigh them out. And I got the scale up, and I'm looking at it, and the cop walks by. He looks over at me. I look over at him just at the same time. He's shocked. He's like, what the fuck is this idiot doing? I'm looking over at him like, oh my God, there's a cop. So of course they pull me out of the car. They arrest me. I did go to jail that time, and it was funny because I'm sitting on the curb. They got me in handcuffs. They're waiting for a transport vehicle because these guys are foot patrol. And I asked the one cop, and I was like, are you guys taking me to jail? And all he did was burst into laughter. He didn't even say yes sir or anything. They just burst into laughter. Both of them looked at each other and they just started laughing. And they impounded my van. That was a drag. When I got out, I had to go and get my van from the impound lot, which I did, and rescue it out of there. I had a bag of Coke in my van. And the cops searched the van, but I guess they didn't find it. Because when I got the van back, I opened the doors, and they had taken the paneling off the walls. They pulled the carpet and the paneling were glued together. They pulled that off. The aircraft insulation was still stuck to the walls. So the paneling on both sides and the roof had been pulled down. They searched the whole van, tore it apart, ripped it to shreds. And I'm in the impound lot, and I had just paid the shit. I got the key in my hand, and all I gotta do is get in my car, start it up, and drive it out of their lot. And it's just a big fenced in parking lot. And there's this bag of Coke right there. I open the doors and it's right there. Like they left it for me. Like they found it and just put it there and left it. I don't know. I grabbed that shit, put it in my pocket, got in my van, drove out of their lot. The cops waved at me and I'm like, yeah, see you later. And then I went and did all the Coke. I had enough energy to try and put my van back together, which I did, and it really wasn't that hard. Van life sucked. I eventually hustled my way enough through my activities in the streets to get enough money and to go and rent another apartment. And I never looked back. I never went homeless again. I was homeless for a total of 2 years. And it was traumatizing. If anybody out there is living out of their vehicle, do what you want, but I suggest you try and get out of that lifestyle. It's not conducive to success. At least it wasn't for me. Thanks for watching.